What's up? I'm back. I know it's been a while. Been kind of under the weather. Um, and a lot has happened. A ton has happened. We have a lot to talk about with reference to Q posts, to the FISA court. I've basically just been doing research on the FISA court for the past 2 days. So yeah, that's there's a lot of information in on that. Want to go over something I saw on Calm Before the Storm subreddit about maybe a possible false flag. A ton going on. This podcast is brought to you by Woodford Reserve. Cheers. So yeah, let's get into it. Missed you guys, so let's do this. So we're gonna go all the way back to the 24th. Today is Sunday, the 28th. Q says, today, former President Barack Hussein Obama formally retained counsel 9/worldwide. God bless you all. So, if you don't know by now, former President Obama has lawyered up. Does he know something's in the making? Does he know that he's screwed? Time will tell. Right here, on 125, it says incidents. AT&T, no such agency contract. So AT&T, NSA contract. AT&T, Google, Facebook, etc. Prevent unfair censorship. Push. Internet Bill of Rights. I totally agree. If you lean right, your stuff will be blocked, or your YouTube channel will be demonetized if you push the envelope. Also pretty cool is that on Fox and Friends, they're talking about Q. They're doing Q posts on Fox News, so that's pretty cool. We'll continue on 125. Confirmed. John Kerry reportedly coaches Palestinians not to yield to Trump in peace talks, spurring backlash. Why did Obama travel ahead of POTUS? Trump would not be in office for long, suggesting he could be out in a year. This is in quotations. Reread crumbs. Future unlocks past. Read slowly and carefully. This is on the 26th. Will become critically important in the coming weeks. Continue to track those who are resigning across all platforms. There's like 50 congressmen not coming back, or some ridiculous number. A lot of CEOs of companies aren't coming back either. People are resigning left and right. I think they just don't want any publicity, public knowings of what's been going on. They don't want their name tied to all this stuff, so they're bowing down. Where there was once darkness, there will be light. Executive order blocking property persons involved in serious human right abuse corruption. I've already gone over that. Q. Basically, I'll put these links at the end of the video down in the description. So let's continue on. Council for Foreign Relations, and there's a triangle implying Soros, Rothschilds, and Saudi Arabia. So Council of Foreign Relations. I'm not going to go into that. We can keep going on down. Let's see. Time to play, Dopey. Black Forest. Catch and release. This is on the 27th. Safety and security. Coincidence? Have you learned how to read the message? Q. Security test. Basically, he has to do these trip code tests to make sure that he isn't being infiltrated. All right, 127 on Saturday. This is yesterday. Chatter exploding. Change of narrative will be required. -4, -5 in brackets. Public to awaken mass start. I haven't read any of this, so. Sleeping pill reject. OP Mockingbird failure. Fake over real. Blind over 2020. Kill _ chain. Where We go one, we go all. At Snowden, the clock is ticking. How's Russia? Mr. Contractor. Freedom of the Press, John Perry Barlow. So from the little bit that I've kind of looked into this lately, of course I've been under the weather, as I said, so, forgive me. What I've heard is that Snowden is definitely a spy for I believe he could be a Russian spy. So I think he's being extradited or something. I think he's being turned over to Trump. So you guys, that is huge. I always thought he was decent, but apparently that is not the case. Secure drop whistleblowers, ? Secure drop clowns in America. Nobody is safe. Q. So CIA, nobody is safe. Why would Democrats have Maxine Waters conduct the follow-up to the SOTU? What is Maxine Waters used for? Reread past drops. Mouthpiece. Controlled. Carefully crafted out there. Statements with falsified fake Mueller drops will be made that nobody else would dare say, suggest, pawn. What do they expect is coming? What must be said to provide a counter-narrative? What might be said to attempt to discredit factual proofs coming? How do you keep people blind? What must you feed them? Every MSM news station next week will be saying and pushing the exact same counter-narrative. Fake news. Mueller, fake news. Russia, Russia, Russia. Should that fail, expect a major false flag to force a shift. Dear God, they'll do anything. Predictable. We see all, we hear all. Wizards and warlocks. War is in brackets. There's definitely a war going on behind the scene. These people are really dumb. Q. Continue down. You can see stronger together. This is Hillary Clinton kissing. Looks like a Grand Wizard of the KKK. It's normal. Do you trust your black leaders? How much are they worth? Reconcile. And then we have this picture right here. 13th Amendment, abolish slavery. Republican support, 100%. Democratic support, 23%. 15th Amendment, right to vote for all, 100% from the Republicans, 0% from the Democrats. 14th Amendment, gave citizenship to freed slaves, 94% Republican support, 0 from the Democrats. Obamacare, 0 support from the Republican Party, 86% from the Democratic Party. So it says, learn some history before condemning Republicans. How much are they worth? Reconcile. Talking about the Dems. Super Predator, that's about, I believe, Hillary Clinton. Bring them to heel. Define heel. Of a dog. Follow closely behind its owner. Heel means to stop or basically stay put. Yeah, so these are the Q drops so far as of the 27th. So we're going to go into this right here. Make it a little bigger for you. There we go. Why would D's have Maxine Waters conduct the follow-up to SOTU? Then this person writes, every MSM news station next week, so we're talking Monday, tomorrow, will be saying and pushing the exact same counter-narrative. Should that fail, expect a major false flag to force a shift. What big event is happening next week that could potentially be used for a false flag? The Super Bowl? Would Super Bowl 52 fit Q's reference? Consider Anon's post from a month ago about a major terrorist network rooted literally next door to the U.S. Bank Stadium and all the terrorist-related coincidences around it. Good God. Okay, so it says, we'll look at this picture. Give you a second to look at it. So this is a lot, so if you want to bear with me. First, look at the related pic. typical boring government photo op of people you've probably never heard of doing S you don't give an F about from months ago. Okay, now listen up. For anyone who gives an S about eliminating sanctuary cities but are just the average person who feels powerless to do so, I'm going to give you the key to drop one such sanctuary city to its knees. There is a way to make the Sharia-controlled radical religion of Cuckist stronghold sanctuary city of Annapolis and the low ratings, failing NFL take a massive financial hit about a month from now. How? Super Bowl 52. All that needs to be done is convince enough people to hesitate visiting Super Bowl events. No visitors, no money. A sanctuary city has to publicly answer to why they are harboring a terrorist organization. Here's the thing. It is anticipated that 52 will bring an estimated $400 million plus in new spending to the MSP. I guess that's the Minneapolis metro area, with over 1 million visitors over the 10-day event, of which 125,000 plus being non-resident visitors. The problem is Minneapolis has a massive undercurrent of ISIS-forged Somali terrorists just waiting in the shadows, plotting and planning the ultimate jihad on American soil. Dear, I have not read any of this. It's blowing my mind already. The 10 days of Super Bowl 52 events are prime time for these people to strike. This is a lot of lives that the NFL and city of Minneapolis are willing to put at stake for the sake of greed. Hear me out. Since the 1990s, Minneapolis has been actively importing Sharia-loving, female terrorizing, culture disrespecting, tuberculosis, infected Somali immigrants. Unofficial estimates over 100,000 around the Minneapolis-St. Paul area alone. I have heard that there's problems in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, since around 2006 or so. And continuing to this very day, there exists what is called the Minneapolis Jihadi Pipeline, where dozens of young Somali men officially, many more unofficially, are recruited in and around the Cedar Riverside neighborhood, aka Little Mogadishu, aka Little Somalia, and in particular the Riverside Plaza apartment complex, to travel to Somalia and Syria to train in jihadi terrorism with ISIS or ISIS-affiliated Ali Shabaab. If you do not think this is a big deal, in 2014 the FBI called it one of the biggest domestic terrorism investigations in the country since September 11th. The concern is not so much about them leaving and dying overseas, but rather they train jihad in return. So here's a picture right here. We'll go bigger if we can. There we go. You can check this. It says largest terrorism investigation since the World Trade Center, right here, regarding the Minneapolis Jihadi Pipeline running through Cedar River neighborhood, Riverside Plaza, aka Little Mogadishu. And then right here, these looks like it's a crossing. It says like I'm not sure. It looks like an overpass. Samatar crossing dedicated on 12/31/2013 to Somali public official with family ties to terrorism under said investigation. Establishes door-to-door route between Riverside Plaza and U.S. Bank Stadium. Groundbreaking ceremony 8/28/2017. And then right here you have U.S. Bank Stadium, February 14th. Jesus. Okay, so he continues. Of all the Minneapolis-based recruits that have traveled overseas to train and fight for ISIS or affiliates thereof, at least 5 are publicly known to have died in the process. 1. Sherwa Ahmad became a successful suicide bomber in 2008 when he drove a car bomb into the government center, killing himself and 29 others. Troy Castigar died 2009 fighting al-Shabaab in Somalia. Douglas MacArthur McCain was killed in 2014 fighting for ISL in Syria. Abdisalan Hussein, who in September 2011 blew himself up in Mogadishu in 5. Then we have the curious case of the little Burhan Hussein. Little Burhan went through the same jihadi pipeline to Somalia, but the official word is in 2009 he was shot in the head in Somalia because supposedly he was going to rat out the jihadi recruiters stationed back home in Riverside, Minneapolis. Whoa. It just so happens that Hassan's uncle was Hussein Samatar, who in 2006 was appointed to Minneapolis Library Board of Trustees. Okay, so this terrorist uncle is Hussein Samatar, who is on the Minneapolis Library Board of Trustees by the Minneapolis Mayor R.T. Ryback. We wouldn't want a little matter like nephew Hassan's jihadi involvement follow Mr. Samatar around like a bad smell, now would we? Eventually in 2010, Mr. Samatar would become the first Somali American in the state, if not the country, to be elected to a public office, winning a seat on the Minneapolis School Board until his death in 2013. Enter Bleeding Heart, R.T. Ryback, with his last act as mayor of symbolically building bridges. You're gonna love the symbolism here. With the Somali community by dedicating the 5th Street Bridge over I-35 West as a Samatar crossing on behalf of Hussein Samatar. But symbolically building bridges from where to where? Just look at the Samatar crossing on the map. Seriously, pull up Google Maps and have a look around. Why haven't I heard any of this before? You have. It's all in the news and easily searchable, but it all exists in tiny fractured pieces spread over several years that don't seem to relate or make any sense until you go pick them all up and put them together, and no one seems to have done that until now. Trust me, I was hoping someone else would have, because we haven't even begun to venture down the rabbit hole, and I'm by no means a proficient enough writer to accurately portray the perfect storm forming on the horizon of downtown Minneapolis. So we'll keep going. But before we touch on another city Minneapolis public official with a possible family link to terrorism, let's pull off this, the festering point potential cover-up known as the 2014 New Year's Day explosion, right smack dab in, you guessed it, Minneapolis jihadi pipeline. So basically, to sum this up, this guy is just saying that do not go to the Super Bowl because of all of this right here, this jihadi pipeline, where they obviously are training people. There's a group of them, is right next door to US Bank Stadium. Pretty crazy. So he says, but what can we do? I tell you what you can do. Meme warfare. You are personally responsible for electing Donald J. Trump. This time you don't need to elect a president. You just need to shift the Overton window a bit so people can see what's really happening right in front of their very own eyes. You just need to convince enough people that their lives may be at stake when they visit the Super Bowl event. Convince them to stay home, to stay away. This time it could directly save lives of your fellow countrymen. And just remember, the Minneapolis jihadi pipeline is only getting bigger and faster, and it's only a stone's throw away from the US Bank Stadium. A perfect storm. Now take another look at the pic related. Looks completely different now, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, I would not dare go to that. That's terrifying. Yeah, I just want to read that to y'all. I thought that was pretty intense. Let's just go on to actually have some things on my email. Whoa, a little too big. So it says, sorry. All right, major drop today. This is on the 24th, Wednesday. There has been a couple of traitors within the Trump cabinet, and he now knows who they were. They were leveraged, unfortunately, from things that had happened to them in the past. Please do not guess or speculate. Their names will not be disclosed. They were helping Deep State by quarterbacking stuff against the president. Deep State had insurance policies by leveraging information from their wiretaps, while Trump had been diligently building his group. Deep State has been corrupting his cabinet because they had the intel as to who were going where. Wiretaps helped them get ahead to a degree. Trump is just waiting on Nunes and Gowdy to pass TR memo up, which I'm told is imminent. I guess that's the said memo that all these Republicans have seen and said that it's disgusting. The breach of surveillance is unbelievable. Trump will make an overnight visit to NSA, Utah, and Langley, off-the-book visit to secure some data in person. He has raw intel regarding 3 of his cabinet to get from NSA. He wants last 7 years of data on each. Dilley has been sitting on intel for months, but because of last night's Q post, he is able now to release new intel. Admiral Rogers approached Trump shortly after the victory in 2016. This is going to relate to something that happened months later. But Rogers discovered prior to that meeting with Trump that there was a plan to kidnap Trump's grandchildren. What? That's what was actually exposed at the point in the meeting, because they do not have anything on the president. He's clean. This is why Don Jr. dropped his SS security detail. There was a plan in place to snatch his child or baby. This evil is real. Reaffirmation of General Flynn being a great patriot. General Flynn and Admiral Rogers both playing a part to protect this country. Also, thank Bill Binney, who developed the technology needed to bust these guys. NSA also has footage of a cabinet member from previous administrations, quote-unquote, hurting a child. No further details are provided. Keep military men and women in your prayers. They are fighting on behalf of the good people of this country. They are in the middle of a dangerous operations as we speak. The story tells you of the level of desperation the Deep State is in to try to stop POTUS. All this data can be dropped now because of yesterday's Q post and the revelation of a secret society. That was in the FBI text messaging. Not easy to discuss, but we are slowly preparing Americans for these drops. You will never know the full scope of this, and you don't need to. Confirmed true pundit story about FBI text regarding physically harming the president. Whoa. FBI is toast, and major house cleaning will occur, similar to what happened with the CIA. FBI may not be able to survive this. Christopher Wray threatening to walk out on FBI sessions is fake news. Disinfo is necessary. Some trusted journalists that patriots listen to are deliberately fed disinfo to keep scent off the main trail. Understandable. Refrain from roasting these journalists and patriots. Some trusted journalists that patriots listen to are deliberately fed disinfo to keep scent off the main trail. Refrain from roasting these journalists. This is being done on purpose. The intel source has actually given Dilley fake news, but he can sense it's fake and refuse to report on it on his Periscope. 95% is legit and 5% Dilley can tell. Dilley calls on his bull. True pundit Thomas Paine is legit. Yes, he is. I've just gotten into him. He's amazing. He was a former FBI spook, and even he is getting shocked by what he's finding out. And even shocked about what he's finding out. Sorry, Trey Gowdy is playing his role. Mueller's investigation is legit, and he's trying to be honest. Get away from the paradigm on who is good versus bad. Find out who can get leveraged. None of this is a current threat. It's being released now because it's past tense. So relax. McCabe is in the back black site in the lower 48th singing somewhere in the continental U.S. Black site equals a place that exists that's not supposed to exist. He's no longer in Gitmo, but he's not getting the witness protection treatment. He did not enjoy his Gitmo visit, which is why he's singing and no longer there. He's bad news. We are starting to let words out that is preparing the public. Treason, secret society memo will confirm what most red pill people already knew. So, there's a lot going on there. Holy cow. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I have not read this. I'm just, giving this information to you that I've found, and, you do whatever you want to with it. So, I mean, I just found all this pretty interesting, and I think tomorrow I'm going to go over the FISA court and how just the complete breakdown of it all. So, because it's just so, there's just so many levels to it, and it's just really complicated. That's why it took me like 2 days to jot down notes and just get things in order. So, anyways, I hope you guys had a good weekend. I'm going to be doing this more often because I was just kind of in the weather, like I said. If you like what you're listening to, subscribe if you'd like. So, anyways, guys, keep in touch with you. You keep in touch with me. And y'all have a good evening. All right, bye.